Welcome to the Transparent FX Academy. I'm Nick and I'm a top author and trading view with over 190k reputation points. This will be a very important tutorial, so make sure that you stick throughout the end of the video without skipping any parts. And without further ado, let's jump straight onto the chart. This tutorial will be the ultimate step-by-step guide on how to scalp gold. It will be very well structured in three parts. First, I will be explaining what kind of market dynamic does gold have. This is essentially the most important question that we have to get an answer to, because depending on what kind of market dynamic gold has, we can then understand what kind of strategy can work on it. Then, I will explain how the knowledge of what kind of market dynamic gold has can help us build a scalping strategy. And then the third part will make this video be very, very practical, because I will show you a live example and historical backtest of the personal strategy that I use on gold for scalping. So this will not be just a theoretical video, which you very much see online, that never really goes to prove the points that is actually, like, people that make these kind of videos online usually don't go and prove the points that they're making. Well, I will actually show you a live example of my personal gold scalping strategy and a big historical backtest over more than 10 years of data. So this will be a very important, and I really suggest that you watch the entire tutorial, because this will be a very important one. So let's start from the first part. What kind of market dynamic does gold have? Well, if you follow the gold market long enough, you probably already noticed that most of the times gold is either consolidating or it has a very strong momentum-based impulse. So essentially, it is showing a strong breakout phase. So either it is moving very aggressively or it's moving horizontally. And this pretty much is happening on all time frames, but it's very easy to identify this kind of market dynamic. Also, if you go down on very low time frames, like for example, the 5 minutes time frames, we can see that either the market is moving horizontally, like ranging basically, or it is really breaking out aggressively, like creating these aggressive moves. This is the kind of market dynamic that gold has, right? If you follow this market long enough, you will notice that it is usually a market which has momentum strategies which work well on them. So essentially breakout strategies. Those are the kind of strategies that work quite well on gold. So this brings us essentially to the second point. So what kind of market dynamic does gold have? Usually breakout strategies, since it is a market that either it is breaking out or it is consolidating. Usually momentum-based strategies and breakout strategies work the best on it. So this answers the second question. So what kind of breakout strategies can be implemented? Well, really, there are a huge amount of strategies which really can look to capitalize on breakouts, okay? Now, for example, there are range breakout strategies. So strategies that identify the high and the low of ranges, and when the market breakouts, they look to capitalize on that movement. Same thing obviously would be to the bearish side, so identifying high and lows. For example, there are indicators like the Donchen channel that can help with that, for example, or also like, for example, the Bollinger Band. So for example, if we put here a Bollinger Bands, okay, then you can, for example, say, okay, I have a strategy, and then obviously that strategy needs to be tested, that if the market breaks above the higher band of the Bollinger Band, then I'm looking to buy with the stop loss, let's say, for example, below the middle band or something like that. I'm just making out, because there are so many different strategies that can be applied. But the important thing when it comes to developing trading strategies is knowing what you're looking to do. And again, if you're looking at gold, and I will show you then my personal strategy and how it is implemented. But the basic idea that I really want to pass here is that it really much depends on what kind of market you're looking to trade. Because if, for example, you're trading a market like Euro GBP, so the euro against the British pound, well, those are the currencies of two correlated economies. So actually what you will have most of the times is a ranging market. So what kind of market dynamic does, for example, Euro GBP have? Well, it has a mean return, like a return to the mean kind of behavior. So when there is a diversion from the mean, either to the upside or to the downside, the market then usually converges back to the mean. So, for example, you can implement, which work quite well, strategies that look to sell overbought conditions and buy oversold conditions on pairs like Euro GBP, which tend to then converge back to the mean. So those are the kind of strategies which usually when I'm looking to develop for those pairs, that is what I'm looking to do. Or also pairs like AUD CAD tend to have that kind of behavior. But gold, as we have just established, likes to break out. So momentum strategies, breakout strategies, those are the ones that you're looking to implement. And it can be the breakout above or below the Bollinger Bands. You can use the Donchian channel. You can use price action, like simply identifying high and lows and developing strategies around that. An example of a strategy, just making it up right now, could be, as we have already seen, that you're looking to buy, for example, if the market breaks above the high of the upper channel, in the market, let's say, closes above the high, then you have the stop loss below the low and take profit at a 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, let's say, risk to reward. Or at the same time, you're looking to sell and essentially short if you have a breakout below the low of the Bollinger Band with the stop above the middle of the Bollinger Bands, and again, a 1 to 3 risk to reward. Again, I'm just making this up just to give you just to show you how it's pretty much up to the ideas and what you're seeing on the chart. But the very important thing is that once you have a strategy idea, you are able to implement it and develop the strategy and then test it on high quality historical data. And that is essentially the only way to really prove that, at least in historical conditions, that is a strategy that has worked quite well. And that is exactly what I will now show you. I will show you my personal strategy, which I have coded in the MQL language. So it's now basically a trading algorithm, which I can then run on historical data in the MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5 platforms. I have developed the versions for both platforms. Now, what is the strategy idea again behind my strategy, which I will now show you? Well, me personally, I'm using the Donchian channel, which essentially identifies the highs and lows. I'm looking to buy and sell depending on what kind of a situation the market here is showing. So obviously I'm looking to long breakouts to the upside, short breakouts to the downside. So very similar to what we have here with Bollinger Bands, the strategy idea that we just made up here. And I'm looking to capitalize on those breakouts after phases in which the market has moved horizontally. So pretty much essentially looking to capitalize exactly on the kind of behavior that gold tends to exhibit. So let's go and see basically a historical backtest of my personal bot, which is called the Gold Scalper right now. Okay, so I have here my MT4 in this case, but obviously I have also MT5. I mean, it's pretty much, I have both versions, as I was saying. And yeah, I just noted actually that I called my bot the Gold Scalper. Actually, the name is the Gold Sniper. That is the name of my EA, sorry about that. And I have here already gold loaded, and I will now show you a huge amount of data backtested. We will go from 2009, so just after the huge financial crisis, which obviously changed a lot of things in the market. So I usually tend to backtest my strategies from 2009 onwards because so many things changed after the 2008 financial crisis all the way to 2025. So what I will do now is I will launch the backtest. I have already the historical data here downloaded, and then I will speed up the video. So you don't have to, you essentially don't have to wait at the usual speed. We can just move it quicker. As you can see now, it's building up all the time frames, and I will start running my algorithm on it. So we should be starting right now. See, okay, we're already now at more than 100 trades. Its starting balance was 10,000. I just set it from the tester, and I will now speed up the video. Okay, so the backtest is now completed. As you can see, we have essentially more than 2,500 trades executed, and that is exactly what you want to have when it comes to seeing how a strategy that you have developed is performing on historical data. You want thousands of trades and a long historical period, right? So to see how that strategy is really getting tested in multiple trading conditions, and more importantly, market phases and market conditions. And as you can see, it performs quite nicely. Obviously, there are periods in which it performs worst. Like for example, here we have some sideways, here we have some drawdowns, but overall, you want to see a positive performance. We went, in fact, from the starting balance of 10,000 all the way up to 383,000. Obviously, if you increase the risk, then you will see also, in this case, it was a 1% risk per trade from the inputs. But obviously, if you increase the risk per trade, then obviously, if the strategy's overall performance is positive, that will increase also the strategy performance. This will probably go to millions. Same thing, if you decrease the risk per trade, you will have smaller drawdowns, and you will also have a decrease when it comes to the performance of a strategy in the historical backtest, because you're taking obviously less risk. So you will have less drawdowns, smaller drawdowns, but also the overall performance will be lower, just stating the obvious here. So as you can see, trading strategies that favor breakouts and momentum can work quite nicely if properly built when it comes to the gold market. Now, if you want to learn more, I really recommend that you go and check out my website, which is linked in the description, because what you see me share here on YouTube is actually just the tip of the iceberg. In fact, if you head over to the website in the description, you will have the possibility to join the best trading program on the planet. You will gain access to all the courses ranging from the very basics of charting all the way to the more advanced topics like building automated trading strategies using the MQL4 programming language, building portfolios of strategies using quantitative finance tools like the Quant Analyzer, and much more. You will have the possibility, in fact, to gain access to the trading station software with the Telegram notifications integration, one-on-one private mentoring directly with me, the COT data software, which often you see me use directly in my YouTube videos, on all my platforms actually. And if you scroll down, you will see that you also have the possibility to get the integration. So all my EAs, which you find here presented one by one directly on the website. And you also have the possibility to gain access to my live trading show. So I live stream of all the trades on my live account as they're opened, closed, trade, and obviously managed. And if you continue to scroll down, you will see that you have the possibility to join just after hero testimonials and gain automatically access with the email and password that you will create during the checkout process. So I really suggest that at least you go and check it out. The link is in the description, and I will see you in it. If you enjoyed the tutorial, make sure that you click on the like button. Also, let me know in the comments below any new topics that you would like me to cover in new tutorials. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss updates, and I will see you in my next video.